welcome back. And obviously, I've overcome one obstacle because you're here again. But all fun aside, I wanted to talk about the elephant in the room, and I'm not speaking about Ganesha. But if you think he's cute, I'll definitely leave him and his little description down on the bottom so you can see where I've got him. He's my 8-year-old's little friend, but I thought he was cute, and I kind of stole him and put him in my office. Does that make me a bad person? Anyway, I wanted to be able to talk to you guys about the elephant in the room, and that is the fact that I'm not South Asian. Surprise. I know. Every morning I wake up, look in the mirror, and I'm reminded that I'm not South Asian, although I'd love to be, but anyway, I'm just excited for the fact that I have been able to marry into such an amazing culture that I have learned so much from. Never in a million years when I married my husband, who obviously did not have an arranged marriage by picking this one, I never thought that I would get into South Asian weddings, let alone be an expert in them. I've been doing South Asian weddings since 2005, and I've learned a lot along the way. There's not a lot of vendors that stay in this market this long, this successfully, unless they're doing something right. And I feel with us, we've just grown more and more loved over the years. And I feel like I have some information that I might be able to share with you guys that just might make you guys yourselves South Asian wedding gurus. So let me dig in. Sabya and Sachi aside, although that is where I'm going with this podcast. And eventually I do feel with the help of you and your subscribing to this channel, hint, hint, I might be able to reach that. One thing I'm going to do to incentivize you even more to trust me and allow us to build trust on this station, this little podcasting station, what are we calling it? YouTube, is for us to go ahead and open this Thanksgiving week up with something just in time for the holidays. And that is going to be, what is it that I think my girls might love, but maybe even support my son's girlfriend's job? And I might not, or might have kind of set them up on a blind date, and they might have or might not still be together after 3 years. And that might sound a little like an arranged. I think I'm turning into my mother-in-law. But all jokes aside, $50 Sephora card, because that's what I think you guys would love. All I'm going to ask is that you guys like and subscribe to this particular video and make a comment below that actually tells me maybe where you're from, when your wedding date is happening, if you've already had your wedding date, or if you're a vendor finding my podcast for the first time and what you feel like maybe you could benefit from hearing. Because everybody in some way or another is probably at some point within their planning process that there's something that they just love to know, whether it's an insider kept secret, whether it's a pricing question. I want to be able to be that knowledge for you guys. I want to be the insider that you can trust. And so I'm going to ask that you guys do that. $50 gift card is, who doesn't want free things? So anyway, let's move on from that. I want to talk a little bit about what it is that you should be doing before you even start the planning process, before you talk to one vendor, before you drop one email, before you make one call. What is it that you should be doing as a South Asian bride getting ready to begin her planning process? This is a pundit conversation. You really do need to talk to your pundit. You need to talk to them about the plans that you really want for your wedding day. A lot of times Indian weddings, South Asian weddings are really dictated by what a priest says. And they do believe they have that kind of power. And I've seen so many pundits that are amazing and wonderful and do such beautiful ceremonies. And I've also seen pundits that will kind of abuse that power, and they just think because they're a pundit, they can do whatever they want. And while in the South Asian community, that is kind of given to them, I want to ask you and encourage you to have that conversation with your pundit. Talk to them about the dreams that you really want to come true with your wedding planning, because there are, especially in the South Asian community, you guys have really been built up on Bollywood, and you have seen things in the way you want it to be. In order for that to happen, timing is everything. And I understand that timing is not as important as the stars aligning and what the pundit says, but I've seen people marry trees. Let's be honest. And I also know that there have been pujas done in order to make that situation where the muhurtam can meet a better time that's more accommodating than a bride waking up at 2:00 in the morning in order to be ready for her ceremony to begin at 5. So it's a pundit conversation. And better yet, if you do not have a pundit yet, drop that in the comments and I'll drop you a pundit. And moving forward, let's talk about not just the conversation that you need to have with the pundit, but it's a conversation you need to have with your parents. I think that parents are way more easygoing than we make them out to be, especially the South Asian ones. After all, Russell Peters has said a few things. And I really think that it's important that you have that conversation with your parents to really figure out, is your wedding going to be a little more traditional? I know that my South Indians are way more traditional than my North Indians, but don't get lost in the fact that you're planning your wedding. And yes, your parents are taking a big part in that. Most of them are taking a big part of the financial responsibility, although I've seen so many more of these brides and grooms taking that financial responsibility on their own, and like, yay. But I really want to encourage you guys to have a conversation with your parents, make them part of the process, have conversations with them about what their expectations are so that you can not only meet those, but set those, because these are some primary elements that you really need to make a focus before you even pick up the phone and make that first phone call or drop that first email. All right, guys. So again, that is just a tidbit of advice. It's Thanksgiving. I can't expect to steal a whole bunch of your time, but I am going to give away a $50 gift card to just ask you guys to get to know me and let me get to know you a little bit more by subscribing, liking, and of course, dropping in that comment when your wedding date is. If you're a vendor, who you are, introduce yourself to me. I want to get to know you. And so subscribe, like, follow us everywhere. Instagram, we are the Regetis. I don't plan on starting a whole separate channel because there's enough inspiration over there for the South Asian wedding than I could ever give you here. So until the next time, for all of you girls here in America, happy Thanksgiving. And I hope that you guys are enjoying this time with your family, friends, and all your loved ones. And as we move into episode 3, I cannot wait to see you back there and drop this gift card into one of your hands right before the holidays. So until then, see you soon.